H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.
Yes. All right. Okay. Alright, so in the previous class we stopped upon a particular example wherein with the help of your superclass reference you basically call the let's say you have your climb okay, so with the help of your superclass reference you basically call your print behavior, and for your cheetah it goes to your okay, so during runtime let me even comment this out. So during runtime what happens? During runtime your cheetah is actually your cheetah's print behavior is going to get invoked because your cheetah is overriding your print behavior method. Okay, so we saw that yesterday in the yesterday's class, so we are good enough here. Now let's say as we know that if I on cheetah, okay, on this cheetah I want to invoke cheeta dot climb tree. All right, so we could not do that because climb climb tree because there was a question yesterday why we are not able to do it. Reason. Okay, the reason because in your super class you do not have the climb tree method. All right, very plain and simple, because if you are trying to use a reference of your super class you can only invoke the methods which are present in the super class. Okay, so you can only invoke the methods which are present in the super class, and depending on whether your subclasses have inherited those methods or not, have overridden those methods or not, depending on that your print behavior is going to be called accordingly. Okay, so for Bengal tiger I know that Bengal tiger has not implemented the print behavior method, so for that reason it is going to go and invoke your cat's print behavior method. All right, so very simple, which we discussed yesterday. Now the concern is I somehow I have the reference of your cat class. Okay, but I know that I have already created an instance of your cheetah, correct? And I know in cheetah there is a method known as climb tree. Okay, so that is what I have it in your cheetah class. Now my objective is how do I still invoke my climb tree method. All right, so in this case what am I going to do is I know that if I say cheetah.climb tree I cannot even invoke that. Okay, even though it is public here I cannot even invoke that. Now here what am I going to do is I am going to cast this particular reference back to cheetah. All right, so what am I going to do is I have the reference, so let's say I am using that reference right now. Okay, so this reference which I have created here, let me cast it to saying that this particular reference is of type, okay, even though I say cheetah or let's say cat cheetah. Okay, so let me say this is a cat cheetah. I know that this is of type cheetah. All right, so what I can do, even put this in here and just say dot. Okay, wait a minute. So let me take this, let me take out all these things for now. and let me use this cheetah. Okay, cheetah dot climb. Go to the cheetah class, copy this climb tree. Okay, so what do I do here? I basically will typecast it to a cheetah. Okay, and put everything to a. Okay, now what did I do here? I casted this particular reference cat to cheetah because I know that this is of type cheetah. Alright, now let's see. Let me run this particular example. Right click, run as Java application. Okay, so right now I'm able to invoke the climb tree method of my cheetah class. Why? Because first what I did is I have casted this particular reference which was of type cat to cheetah first, and then on that particular reference I have called the climb tree method. Okay, so this is how you basically can cast your reference to the specific class on which class you have got the climb tree method. Okay, so for now let me even comment this out and come back to the copy and paste the same example here. Okay, so what did I do here? I casted the cat reference to the cheetah reference, okay, or to the cheetah, okay, cheetah class. Now let's see what am I going to do here. What I even have got one more method here, that is your Bengal tiger, right? So let me copy this Bengal tiger, and what am I doing is I still have the cat reference. This is your cat. Why do you need to cast child class to the base class when we extend the base? The child class do not inherit all the methods from the base class. Alright, so my main objective of telling why do I need to cast it, because I have the superclass reference here, and I know that from the superclass reference, let's say if I copy this and paste it here, dot climb tree, I will not be able to access the climb tree method at all. Okay, but still I know that I have created the object for cheetah, and I am very much viable to call. I have all the rights to call the behavior of your cheetah, because cheetah has a climb tree method in it. Okay, so what do I do? For that reason, I am casting this reference first to cheetah. Okay, so I copy this and on that particular casting, after I casted that to a cheetah, and then I can invoke the climb tree method. Okay, if you do not cast, you cannot even invoke the climb tree method here. All right, now
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, so if I am extending from the cat, and if I create an instance of the cheetah object, then I don't have to basically do what you're doing, right?
No, you don't have to do that.
So what is the purpose of us creating a cat reference or the cat object type and then referencing it?
Okay. At times what happens when you talk about polymorphism here, right? So here what happens when you talk about polymorphism, we have already seen this behavior, right? When you talk about cat cheetah and you talk about print behavior, so depending on the runtime itself, it understands whether I need to call the cheetah class print method or the cat class print method. So this is all about polymorphism here. Okay, but still, if you already have the reference of your cheetah, right, and you want to still invoke the methods of your your cat class climb tree. All right, even what happens usually, why this is being used, basically when we talk about in advanced Java, okay, everything will be in the form of an object. Okay, so there will be a kind of a container from where you will only get objects. So it is your responsibility to cast that particular object to a particular type. Okay, now even I can say here, let's say I can even say object. Okay, I can even say object here, right? I can very well say here I have no restriction in saying object Bengal tiger equals to new tiger, because in the previous section we already saw that object is the superclass of each and every class, right? Now still I have the object here. I want to still invoke my Bengal tiger dot print behavior method. How do I do that? I have to cast this particular reference to a particular class on which I want to invoke that particular method. Okay, so for that reason I have to say cheetah. Okay, yeah, it was a good question, but at this point of time, just understand the concept, because down the line when we'll really see about objects, you will get everything in the form of object. Okay, so the object, in the sense, this is the same object, so it is your responsibility to cast that object to a particular type. Okay, so let us cast to a particular type here. Now if I want to invoke the Bengal tiger dot print behavior, I cannot do that. What should I do here? Copy this tiger and cast this first, and on that invoke your invoke your print behavior. The same thing goes for the cheetah also. Copy this, and on this I invoke the print behavior. Alright, so what are we doing here? We are basically typecasting a particular reference to a particular class, because this is in generic an object. Okay, or if I say here as cat, I don't need to do this casting here basically, right? Because I know that your Bengal tiger can invoke the print behavior as such. Okay, so in specific, if you want to cast to a particular class type, you can still do it. Okay, now here I know that the cat cheetah has got a climb tree method, so I'm very good here. Right click, run as Java application. I'm able to invoke my climb tree method. Now what happens if I copy this and paste it here? Okay, let me comment this out. Copy this, comment this out, and push it here. Okay, now let me copy the Bengal tiger, and just watch out here. The Bengal tiger is of type tiger here, right? And I am trying to cast this tiger to cheetah. Okay, so if I copy this the cat reference, which is of type tiger, so Bengal tiger is of type tiger, but I am casting that particular reference to of type cheetah. Okay, which is a two different hierarchy altogether. All right, these are all two different hierarchy altogether. All right, why it is different hierarchy? Because no one is extending any one. Both are extending one single class. I have no doubt on this, but still let's see what's going to happen here right now. So if I right click, run as Java application, you get a class cast exception. Why? Because your Bengal tiger, okay, all right, okay, so your Bengal tiger, did you miss out yesterday's class, Rajesh? Okay, I would request you to please go through that, because again explaining that will take I have to explain the entire stuff to you in order to tell you what is overriding and those things. I think this will again kill up the time here. Okay, all right, okay, fine then. All right, so here's right, there won't be any errors during compile time, because if you see here, what are you doing here? You are casting a particular reference. Now here, I know that your Bengal tiger, right, is what type of cast? I mean, it is of type reference of cat, right? Now cat can be, cat reference can be typecast or casted to a particular cheetah. Okay, here I'm not casting this tiger, right? So what if I say tiger, and if I copy this and put it here, right? During this you get a compile time error, okay, because you know that this is my tiger, and that tiger reference I'm casting to a cheetah, which is nowhere related to each other, okay. But here if I use cat here, okay, it will not understand during compile time. These things will throw only during your runtime itself, okay. So if I run this, if you see, I get a class cast exception. That means it says your tiger cannot be casted to your cheetah, okay. It's just that that animal are too confusing as a reference, okay. All right. Why there is no error at compile time? Okay, so that I have already explained. So okay, let me take up one more example and really quickly cover this up. All right, so new new package. So I created a package class cast exception. Right click new class, okay, and let's say uh, okay, let's say here let me take two objects, okay. Both the object will try to extend a single class here. So let's say we'll take a living animal, and we'll take a non-living animal here, okay. So talking about living, let's say it's a thing, thing, right. um, okay, living object and non-living object. So let us talk about object here. Object class. So I have taken an object class, and this object class, okay, let's say living and non-living, they both have got a particular state, right? So everybody has got a state. So let's say string state, all right? So whether it is a living object or a non-living object. So I will right click, run, create a new class here. I'm going to say here what, a fish, okay. So fish is a living object, so he is going to again object class, so finish, all right. So as a result, what's going to happen, let's say your object class is going to print a particular method. Let's say public void print state, right. And here, the moment you create an object, you say whether it is a living or non-living object, okay. So I just create a constructor here, and in this constructor I'll just say string state, and you basically say here this dot state equals to state, and sys out, you basically say here I am state. So take this here, go to your let's say new class. I'll take this as a computer, and again the same thing, I'll just extend it to an object class. And I'll just have a constructor here. Okay, let me remove this and click on this. You'll give me some suggestions. Click on this constructor. Okay. And apart from that, let me even have a particular method. So I created a fish also. In this fish also, I'll just say add constructor, and I'm good here. So fish, let's say, is going to have its own behavior. So let's say public void swimming, and then I'll be having a computer. I'll just say public void let's say I'm going to say here company, which company, Okay, so it is from which company? Computer, right? So I'm just going to say here, let's say I'm going to create a computer. So even let me not even think about this right now. Okay, so I just got a method here as company. I've got a method here as swimming here, right? So if I create a new class, just in case of a client class, so I'm just going to create a client class here. So class cast client. I'm going to have a main method here, and then what am I going to do is I'm going to say here object class, this is your computer, equals to new object, sorry, new, this is your new computer, right? So what you have in this state, you're just going to say here as non-living. Take the same thing here, take it as a fish and make it as living. Right? Now what is your objective here? Okay, so here it is your fish. Right? So what is your objective here? You are supposed to say here fish dot state, or let's say what you have there, fish dot swimming, right? So fish dot swimming. Okay, now this is not possible here in this case. Why? Because we are using your object class reference. Okay, so for that reason, what am I going to do is, instead of having a fish, I can have a fish here, no doubt. On top of that, first I will cast that particular reference to a particular type. Okay, close this in a brackets, and on that I'll just say dot swimming. Okay, now right click, run as Java application, everything is fine. If I add anything in the swimming, I'll just say sys out I am a swimmer. So if I run the same example again, right click, run as Java application, I am a swimmer here. Now the question was why it is not happening. I mean, why if I use a computer here, right? So I will use a computer, copy this and paste it here, right? Now during runtime, during compile time, it doesn't understand what to do here, right? Because you're using an object class. This is also the same reference, right? So fish is, the name is different, but it is of type object class. The same thing goes here. It is computer, no doubt. The name is computer. I can even say the name as fish also. Okay, but by convention you say it is a computer itself, right? So this is of type object class itself, and here you are basically using your let's say, let me even change the name here, so to make it as more specific, object class 1. Okay, so I'm just saying object class 1, and this is your object class 2, object class 2, right? Now first you are using your object class 2, so I'm good here, because if I'm able to run this, because this is of type fish, and the same reference I'm actually casting back to the appropriate in specific and pinpointing that, okay, this is of type fish. If I copy this, paste it here, right click, run as Java application, I will basically get a class cast exception. Okay, because your reference, which is of type computer, is nowhere related to a fish. Okay, you cannot cast one object to another object if they are not at all dependent, or they are not at all in a particular hierarchy. Okay, is that clear to everyone? So did that clarify your doubts, Rajesh?
What is happening over here is, like, let's say car is generic object, and we can create a say Honda car, and then say another is say Toyota, right? So you can cast a variable car, as you can create a Honda car from and cast it as car. You can create a Toyota car and cast it as car, but you cannot create a Toyota car and catch it as Honda car.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's what it is basically. The same thing, same example I'm given here, but it's more specific example. I'm taking a living organism and a non-living organism here. Okay,
Right.
so it is more easier to understand things.
You cannot cast on the same level of classes.
It's not same. I mean, if at all there is no relationship between those two classes, you cannot even cast
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, even though they are, I mean, extending your same class, still you cannot do it. All right. Okay, so this is all about your class casting here. Okay, so this was actually a small topic which I missed out yesterday. All right, so the next topic which we are going to see, all right, so let me even cover up one more topic here and then we'll go to a brand new topic here. Okay, all right, so let's say in your computer, sorry, in your object class, you have got something like final method. Okay, so here if any of the method which is final, okay, if you go back to your, let's say, computer, right, so what I can do, I can copy this. We have already spoken about overridden, right? Now if I override, I cannot basically override a final method at all. Okay, you cannot even override a final method, but what if I okay, so very plain and simple, if it is a final, and if you talk about a final variable, if your let's say final int equals to 10, you cannot reinitialize it anywhere, right? So if you say here int int I equals to 10, and you cannot say I equals to 90 anymore because your I is final. I mean, you cannot do any changes on that. All right, so this is all about final here, so this we cannot do it at all. So let me comment this out, saying that final methods cannot be overridden. All right, so this is my object class. This is my in previous example, when I run cat, its output is the same result as hunter client. Why? You can ping me the classes. We can have a discussion, Keith. Okay, just send me those classes as well, and if you have done any modifications, we'll see that later. Okay. Folks, I mean, if you have any questions after the class, please shoot out an email to me with some problems, because the same thing, if we discuss the previous class session, what happens basically, I spend up 5 minutes or 10 minutes on that. So I would request you, if you have any doubts, please shoot out an email so that we can discuss, or I can at least have some buffer time to discuss on that. Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm closing all these things. Let us start a new topic here, class. So the new topic is garbage collection. Okay, so what is garbage collection? In Java, as we know, as in the previous classes or in the very beginning of the class, I have told that Java basically it handles your memory management very nicely. Okay, now let's see what it is basically. Okay, so I created a class. I should not create a class. I'm going to create a package here. New package dot garbage collection. Clear this out. Everything is clear. Close this. Alright. So this is my garbage collection. Where is my garbage? Okay, this is the one. So let me just for sake of creating a please check in. I'll do that. Okay. I'm going to create a class, any class. Let's say garbage collection example. Garbage collection. I'm going to create a, let's say, just going to create a class here. Okay. So in this garbage collection class, let me, even before that, create one more class here, new class. I want to create an object, let's say person object. Okay. So just create a person object here, and this person object has got string name and string occupation and whatnot. Okay, and it has got a constructor also, and everything is just a class. Okay, we are not going to use any of these properties here. I just created a class here. Okay, now in my garbage collection class, what am I going to do is I'm just going to have a main method here, and the main method I'm just going to basically say here what it is. I'll just say person p1 equals to new person. Okay, so as a result, the moment I run this, if I right click, run as Java application, what happens? An object gets created somehow. I'm not printing anything, that's fine. But usually what happens, if I show you this heap memory, somewhere in your heap one object gets created here, right? So this is my one person object during runtime itself. Okay, once it is run, everything is lost. Because you know, the moment you run it, your virtual machine gets triggered, and it creates a memory, and in that memory basically all the object gets created here. Okay, so let's see, what am I going to do here is I'm going to ultimately use a for loop here. For int I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm just going to say, even though it doesn't matter if here in this case, if I say new person also, obviously one object is going to get created here, because I do not want any reference. I'm just creating a object here. So when I do it in this way, what happens? Okay, let me even comment this out. How many times this is going to loop? It is going to loop 5 times. So that many times your objects are going to get created. So if I see here, if I run this program, virtually I cannot see anything. Right click, run as Java application. I cannot see anything here because you are not doing anything, but still we'll do something here. So what am I going to do? Go to your person. Okay, I'm going to have a static variable here. So let's say static int object creation counter. Okay, so this I will initialize it with let's say 1. Okay, in your person object, the number of times you create a person object, basically what are you going to do? You're just going to say object creation counter plus 1. Okay, or let's say object creation counter plus plus. Okay, now if I run the same application at the end of the class, if I say sys out and I just say person dot object creation counter, this we already know that if it is a static variable, it is basically class level variable, wherein I don't have to create an instance of that particular class. I can directly access those static variables or methods. So if I run this example right now, right click, run as Java application, what happens? I get a value of 6 here. Okay, let me do it in this way. Let me make this as 0. Okay, so if I run this, right click, run as Java application, your 5 object got created, because we know that whenever an object gets created, the constructor gets invoked here all the time. Okay, without even invoking the constructor, you cannot even create an object here. All right. Now when I create this object, let me even let's say person, right? So
H2K Infosys provides world-class online IT training, staffing, and software testing solutions to customers worldwide. H2K Infosys, how we are different from our competitors. 100% job-oriented training, hands-on project work, cloud test lab, resume preparation and review, mock interviews, robust syllabus, one-time fee and lifetime access to classes, access to recorded sessions of live classes. H2K Infosys has won the trust of thousands of students worldwide. For a free demo class, visit us at h2kinfosys.com.